Hello, everyone. This is Brian Yeager, the superintendent of the Monticello Community School District. And I'm coming at you tonight to talk a little bit about the upcoming school closures that we'll have in the Monticello Community School District. As you know, last weekend, Governor Reynolds came out and said that we will be having school closures in the state of Iowa up through April the 13th. During that time frame, we have been lucky that we have spring break to start the first week of that closure. So we've had a little more time than maybe some other school districts to do some planning and get ready for this. So a couple of things I want to talk about tonight. How can the school support education during that time, what this calendar looks like, and a little bit about some ongoing calendar changes that we'll have as a part of this. First off, we have really been working with the Department of Education to try and use some online learning options, and quite frankly have been some hurdles have been put in front of us with this. And just to explain a little bit, the online guidance that we're getting from the Department of Education is as follows. One, yes, we may choose online learning options for our students. That's a good start. It doesn't get any better from there, though. But we may not require student participation in any of these online learning options. And we cannot provide instruction during our online learning options. And finally, there's going to be no grading during online learning options. And if we don't do any of those things, it takes away most of what instruction really is and what learning and assessment really boils down to. They do have some legitimate reasons for not allowing us to do this, though. There are equity issues across the state. If, for example, our students don't have access to the internet, they would not be able to do online learning like everybody else would. Or what if we have students with IEPs or 504s who receive special accommodations? Those students might get those in the classroom, but in an online learning environment, it's very difficult to support those students with accommodations. And the same thing with our ELL students. It's very hard to provide extra support for those students in an online environment. So what can we do? That's what we've been asking, and the state has given us very little information on that, but here's what they've told us. Yes, we can give activities to our families to be able to use with their students. So we will be working very closely with our curriculum director and our teachers to try and put activities together for every grade level that we can send out to our families. It will probably take a few more days to be able to put these together. You can probably look for them no later than the end of the beginning of next week. But there will be some ideas in there of things you can do with your student when you're at home and being there for several weeks together. And I would encourage you to take advantage of those activities. And you can also require your student to do some exercise during the day, to do reading during the day, and then include these activities in throughout the day at different times as well. You don't have to do it all together like a school day. You can do some things in the morning, some things in the evening or afternoon. You decide when you can do those things, but I really do think you got to keep your student engaged. Sometimes we go through the summer, and what the research shows us is when students go without being engaged in education for a long period of time, they can slide back a little bit, and we don't want any of our students to slide back. We've worked very hard for 3 quarters to help improve our students and get them where they are right now, kindergarten through 12th grade. Anything you can do to help us continue online education would be appreciated. So when we come back on the 13th, our students are coming back as far ahead as they can be. So the calendar on March 23rd, we will be opening the building from 9 o'clock until 1 p.m. We will open that building for students to come in and do learning during that time, but we do want to be able to have people either stop in to drop things off or pick things up. We realize that people will have to do some of that since we're going to be an extended closure period, whether it's medication or inhalers or jackets or clothing left in the locker or books that you could use, or picking up a student's Chromebook in grades 7 through 12, whatever those things may be. Make sure that you come in and do those things on the 23rd, and you have that 4-hour window to make those things happen. After the 23rd, after 1 o'clock on that day, we are going to lock up the building, and nobody will be in that building. We'll have it all cleaned, and it will just sit there clean until April the 8th. And on April the 8th, we're going to invite our teachers back in for 2 days on the 8th and 9th. They're going to do professional development to get ready for the 13th. and our support staff are going to come in and do some additional cleaning to have our building ready for kids to enter the building on April the 13th. Now, when we come back, we have a couple dates on the calendar that will be changing. April the 13th, May 1st, April 22nd, and May 6th. We have a collaboration day, a professional development day, and 2 early out days. We will not be doing those on our calendar during those times. We're going to do our PD and collaboration on the 8th and 9th of April with our teaching staff. We're going to make every day when we come back an instructional day. We need to maximize our time with our kids when we come back. There is only about a month and a half left from April the 13th until the school year's over. At this point, the last day of the school year is still June 1st, and that is because we've had 2 snow days. All the days that we will be missing do not have to be made up at the end of the year. That is as determined by the state legislature. The state legislature this week also gave the governor the option through executive order that the governor could close schools for an even longer period of time if need be. So I'm not sure what's going to happen as we get closer to April the 13th, but we're planning for students to return on April 13th. And until that time changes, we will stay with that plan. So for all of our parents out there, I wish you the best. Please keep using the universal precautions of, washing your hands and keep your children safe and away from large groups of people at this point. And we will continue to see where things progress in our state, in our country, and in our community. And we'll try to take it one day at a time. And together we can get through this. I know that this is probably a hurdle that none of us has ever faced before. Believe me, the teachers in our buildings want to interact with your kids. They would love to have FaceTime with them. They enjoy teaching. That's why they've done this profession. So they're going to be really looking forward to getting back in front of the kids on April the 13th if we're able to do it at that point. So one more thing I'd like to share with you so everybody's aware. Again, I've sent this out in a couple of emails before, but from March 23rd all the way through and including April the 10th, from 11 to 11:30, we're going to have grab-and-go lunches given out. We're going to have one area at the old middle school and one area at Carpenter Elementary School. We'll have 2 different spots at the same time. You're able to have any students or any people that are age 18 and younger can come up and get lunches. Parents, if you're able to bring your kids in and get lunches for them, you can do that. We will not be eating them in the cafeterias. We will be outside of those buildings, and it will be grab and go. And we're actually going to hand you two things. One is a lunch and one is a breakfast. So it'll be lunch for today and breakfast for tomorrow morning. And then we'll do the same thing as we progress through the full closure time frame up until April the 10th. So again, that's going to start Monday, March 23rd, 11 to 11:30. It'll be at the old middle school and it'll be at Carpenter Elementary. Okay, I think that's about it of things that I can share with you for now. If you have any questions, please do feel free to email me at any time. I'd be happy to answer your questions. I don't know if I have every answer to your questions that you may have, but I'll absolutely do my best. And I appreciate the support that you've given to our school district, and I appreciate the support for your students during this time. And I wish you the best. And during this time, I'll be answering emails the whole time. Feel free to email me anytime. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much.